Hello everybody, and welcome to Gaming with Mr. Poopy. Today we're taking a look at the Thrustmaster TCA Captain Pack X Airbus Edition. That's a mouthful. I just picked this up for playing some Microsoft Flight Simulator. So I want to do a little overview review and kind of go over what you get with this pack, how it works. So we'll do a little brief overview here. It is pretty cool, I will say that. Originally, I had purchased the Boeing Thrustmaster yoke, which I liked. It was good, but I ended up taking that back to Micro Center because it was just too big. It took a lot of space up on my desk, and it was nice. It was a very good product. I liked it, but it just took up way too much space. So I wanted something that's a little smaller like this. So with this, I can put my keyboard in between it, and it sits nicely on the desk, doesn't take up as much space. So let's move on here. So this is the packaging. It's a nice little box. It is compatible with PC and Xbox, as you can see. So you can use it for either one. As soon as you plug it, it's pretty much plug and play. I mean, as soon as you plug it in, all the buttons are already programmed for you. But I will say you're probably going to have to go in and create a couple profiles to adjust some things. I'll kind of go over that because if you're just going to fly the Airbus, it's fine. Everything will be set up. But for other planes, you might run into some issues if you don't change some of your profiles for your controller settings. So the flight stick itself, very nice. As far as like the tension goes, I think it's just right. It's not too tight on there. It's not all loosey-goosey. Yeah, so you can see it's got a nice little snap to center. But it's good. I like it. I think it's just right. You've got some buttons up here. So we got a button here. This is your autopilot button. Shut that off. You got a little four-way hat switch here. I use this for my trim settings. So nose up and down and aileron trim. On this side, we've got a trigger. This trigger I'm not a fan of. I'm going to say right off the bat. The one thing I don't like is this trigger. I mean, look at the size of this thing and how far out it sticks. You know, how far it juts out. But then when you pull it, I mean, it barely moves. And I don't like that because, I don't know, my instinct is the trigger. You want to pull the damn thing, and I feel like the travel should be way longer, and I'm pulling on this, like I feel like I'm going to snap this thing off. So I'm not crazy about this. I wish they could have, I think they could have made this a little better, or an analog trigger or something, but I don't know. My instinct is to just crank on it, and yeah, hopefully I don't snap that thing off. But anyway, I use that for my brakes. And then there's another button above that, as you can see. If I can get this to focus. Okay, there we go. And that one is just a little clicky button as well. So not a big fan of that. Down here, you've got all your typical Xbox buttons, your X, Y, A, B. Same thing over here. It's on both sides because you can use this as a left hand or a right hand. This way you have access to buttons. They also give you extra of these guys here, these little buttons here. So if you switch it, you can unscrew this and flop it to the other side. So it's ambidextrous. Just keep it simple. And another thing, you do have rudder trim left and right. So this does turn. So you get your rudder trim, so you don't have to have rudder pedals, which is nice. One less thing to have. I mean, if you want to be authentic, you can get rudder pedals. And if you do have rudder pedals, there's a little button here. You just push that down, and that locks it into place. So now no more rudder. So then you can move this without affecting, you don't have to worry about, affecting any of your rudder settings on that. And then you can just pop it up, and now it twists. Nice and easy. More Xbox buttons here, your typical Xbox share and menu buttons. Share button there. This guy here is supposed to be for throttle. Another little, not a fan of thing. It's kind of chintzy and cheap feeling. I understand some people buy these as a standalone, just a stick. So they want to put this so people have some kind of throttle, slide. But this thing is, I'm not a fan of it. There's like a very minimal, tiny little detent here, and then it goes down the rest of the way. It's just, I don't know. This thing is chintzy. Don't like it, so I'm not a fan of that. But I don't use it because I've got that. So not too worried about it. But if you're just buying that, keep in mind, it's not the best. On this side here, you can see you've got 2 USB ins, USB out, your switch for PC and Xbox, and you can also plug in your headphones if you want directly into the stick, which is nice. So you've got that as well. All right. So I believe that's everything on the stick. It's nice. I like it. Everything's good. Just those few minor little things that I'm not a fan of. But overall, I'd say the flight stick is good. On to the throttle quadrant. This thing is really cool. Not gonna lie, there's still some stuff on here. I have no idea how it even works because I'm not really a big commercial jet flyer, and honestly I don't really use the Airbus much at all. And I didn't buy this because it's Airbus. I just bought it because it's a nice flight stick setup. It's a nice package. So I'm still kind of learning what some of this stuff even does. Let's start up. Well, yeah, let's start down here. So we got all your buttons here. Most of this stuff is pretty self-explanatory. You got your landing gear up and down. That's nice. It's nice to just flip that nice and quick and get your landing gear. You've got a little dial here for your auto brakes. So I'm assuming this is for your sensitivity settings. And again, I haven't messed with that one, so I haven't used it yet. Once I learn. You got this little selector switch here, mode, normal, engine, crank. So yeah, again, not 100% sure about that either, but we'll get there eventually. You got 2 buttons here you can program for whatever you want. You got your engines on and off, which is nice. So it's nice and simple. Engine 1, engine 2. Those are pretty self-explanatory. I like those buttons. Those are cool. The parking brake is nice. I like that. So that on the actual Airbus, I believe this actually, you can pull it up and then turn it. This just turns, but it's fine. So it's nice and labeled, nice and easy to use. There's your parking brake. You got rudder trim. That just kind of flops. It doesn't click. So you can actually trim the rudder in either direction you need. This way you're flying nice. And then that's a button to reset your reset rudder back to center. Again, you can set these up however you want, but they're labeled, so you're better off setting it up for what it says. Onward. So we've got our 4 levers here. Now this is the Captain Pack. So this one has everything. It's got the flight stick and the full throttle quadrant setup. There's one I believe is called the Officer's Pack, I think. So because these are this section here and this section here, as you can see, there's a gap. These are add-ons. So with the Captain Pack, you get the whole shebang. With the Officer's Pack, this piece and this piece are not there. So all you would be getting is just the centerpiece with your throttle control. But I wanted all the buttons, and I'm like, what the hell? Let's do it. So here we've got your air brake control, so you can control that. It's nice because it's got the detents, which is nice. And I will talk about that too because you can actually change how these work, whether you want detents or not, which is a pretty cool option, I have to say. And you can also adjust the tension as well. So I took the detents off of the throttle because originally all of these have detents. So I left the detents on the air brakes, spoilers, whatever you want to call it. And I also left the detents on the flaps. Now, again, to each his own. You can set it up however you want, if you want it smooth or detent. But I use the detent. On the throttle, though, I did not want the detent, which technically is not true to the Airbus, but that's how I liked it. So this is nice, smooth, just enough tension in there and resistance. I think it could be a little, I wish there was just a little more tension involved in that, but it's good. It doesn't feel too chintzy and cheap where it's just flopping all over the place. Then you got your reverse thruster flaps here. So you just pull that up and it goes in reverse. And then when you push them up, click, you're good. So that's a neat little feature. And then we got the button here to cancel your auto throttle. That's on both sides. So yeah, these levers are really nice. I like them. And like I was saying on the back here, let's see. Let's flip this puppy around. So as you see, there's these little screws there. You can use that to adjust your tension. So I have these up to the highest because I prefer to have that resistance in there. And then you got your USB cord plug in there. And then on the bottom, let me see if I can do this without breaking it. There we go. This is where the detents are. So all you have to do is, it's pretty simple, and they give you the little screwdriver for it. So this little plastic piece here, you take these 2 screws out, and you flip the plastic piece around, put it back in, and you can see there's a wavy line here. So the wavy line, this one is lined up with the wavy line, so that gives you your detents. Now if I unscrew this and flip it around, then it would line up with the straight line, giving you just smooth, you know, control, no detents. So as you can see on here, because I set it up with a throttle, this line lines up with the one without all the wiggles. So it's just smooth, no detents. So if you want it, you can do. And then this one, I still have the detents on that as well. And then there's these little plugs over here that connects the, because again, like I said, it comes separate. If you wanted, you can see the little connectors here connecting the side pieces for the flaps and air brakes. So then you have to attach these little cords that plug into the centerpiece so that it knows you have that. So yeah, it's a nice little setup. Would I recommend it? Absolutely, 100%. Thrustmaster has some good products. I really like their stuff. I think they're pretty well made. They're good for the price. And yeah, if you're on the fence, again, you don't have to be an Airbus fan to get this. I know it's got the Airbus, you know, logo and all that, and that's how they modeled it. But it works great with all the planes, and I have no issues flying it. This stick is very accurate, so I definitely recommend it. So there you go. There's my review of the Thrustmaster Captain Pack X Airbus Edition. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And if you're enjoying my content, please subscribe and have yourselves a wonderful day. Bye-bye.